Hello. Wow, I hope that didn't click, but it might have. Hi, my name is Nick, and this is my studio. And welcome to the studio that is my studio. My name is Nick. Today's stream is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, playing out for free. Cool. So, if you are new here, which you probably aren't, so I'm going to make this super quick. If you want to submit your tracks for future streams where we have a listen and give feedback, go to my Discord server. It is discord.gg/FWLR music. Okay, cool. Let's hop over to my screen. I hope that I'm not clipping the microphone. Cool. Here we go. All right, guys and girls, all of the above, none of the above. Let's have a listen to our first track of the day with some real girthy headroom. I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick little master on that. Okay, we got Vapor by Cat Attack. Okay, this is pretty dope. Can somebody let me know if I'm clipping? Because OBS doesn't like how loud my vocals are, but I don't really care as long as you care how loud my vocals are. This is really cool. It's wonky. I feel like you should check out the band. What is it called? The Washed Out Neon Indian for vocal ideas, because this like wants vocals to me. It sounds like especially like this part. It's just begging for vocals, so give it vocals. And like a certain type of vocals. I'm pretty sure, let me see. I'm pretty sure Neon Indian is who I'm thinking of. Whoever did the Portlandia, I don't think that's actually, I think it's called Washed Up or something. Portlandia theme song. Portlandia theme song. Washed Out. It's called Washed Out. Washed Out, Neon Indian, those kind of like trippy, vapor wavy kind of artists to get some ideas for vocal processing. But yeah, this is dope. It needs vocals. Okay, yeah, very cool. That transition was super wonky, but like, I don't know. I didn't hate it. I feel like the big thing that's gonna make this a song is vocals. So find some vocals, find a vocalist, and get them to sing on it. That is my that's my opinion. Also, there's like some weird there's some weird clicking on the right side. Hear the clicking? That I'm not sure what that is. You might want to look into it. It's only seems to be on the right side. It sounds like maybe it's just a weird like artifact in the way you're looping something, maybe. I'm not sure. Cool track. Wonky, interesting, artsy. This part is really cool. Only happens once, which I'm a fan of. It's cool. Yeah, vocals. Just get vocals on it, man. That's my thought. Very cool. Very cool, thanks. Very funky, very wonky. All right, we got Eswin, Kindred, McKay, Door City. This was done, if I'm not mistaken, during a 24-hour all-night production challenge between these three fine musicians. So let's have a listen to what they did in that short amount of time. Wow. Yeah, this is awesome. The only thing I'm thinking is I kind of wish that there was a little bit better of a transition between this like I get it, it like comes out of nowhere and slaps us in the face, but I kind of feel like if I just had a little bit more development, because I really love like the spectralness of this. Hey Joel T, where should you start if you don't know anything about FL Studio? Check out Seamless R on YouTube. He has a lot of really great tutorials for people who are just starting out, and I would definitely check him out. Yeah, so I'd like to hear this, and maybe it'll get developed more over here, but like I'm hearing a lot of really cool things here. It's almost like reminds me of like early BT or something, and I wish that it just got developed a little bit more before we got into like fucking headbanging, you know? But the headbanging's dope, so let's... See, that's more what I was talking about. Like, I was more ready for that after this. I don't know. I don't know if you need to like build it out that much before the first drop, but I really that part was super like satisfying to the ears. Is that you, Rayhem? Oh, I just deleted the track, sorry. Okay, so obviously, like, this is super good. The mix and master sounds really good. Sound design, like, everything about it is really dope. I think what needs to happen now is to, like, go back and kind of assess what you have to work with and turn it into a song. Because there are some vocals scattered amongst there, but in kind of a bit of a, like here's some vocals, kind of like you dipped your fingers in a bowl of vocals and went like this to the track. So yeah, I think, like, obviously you got some super fire material to work with here, and I think it's just like, hey, let's turn this into a song now. Let's get those vocals maybe at the start. Let's make them a little easier to understand, you know, and turn it into a track with I don't mind the structure overall. I just think it needs that kind of retooling. Like, okay, we just barfed out this amazing track. Let's go back and kind of shape it into a bit more of a structure. But yeah, I have zero complaints about, like, the technical aspects of it, the sound, the mix, the master. It all sounds really good. So good job. That's wicked that you guys did that in a 24-hour all-nighter challenge. That's dope. Cool. All right. Thanks for sending in, and I look forward to hearing it as it progresses. All right. We got Grim, whatever the fuck this is. Okay. Okay, at this point, I just want to stop and make a note. Everything was super cool except that riser sounds like it sounds like too generic. Like, I would swap that out for a more interesting riser. So, yeah, I think there's probably some harvesting of stems from Existentia in here, which is fine. That's fine. The kick is a bit loud. That sound design thing, that thing, that could be way louder. It's kind of in the background underneath, like, the sub and the kick. And yes, I know that it's been rated. Like, there's parts. I think Grim even said something. I remember him saying something in the post in the production feedback channel on the Discord server. Whatever. This doesn't sound like Existentia. I recognize the sound design as, like, a sample. I don't care. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool flip. There's just, like, my biggest concern is that sound is way too quiet. And that won't fix it. It's a really cool idea. It's kind of wonky. It's got a good groove to it. That is definitely Nexus, 100,000%, which is fine. I just recognized the delay with like the vibrato on the delay. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I think you should use this as inspiration. Maybe after you, maybe you could like turn it into a track and then go back and kind of replace the parts that you've borrowed from the project file from Existentia. I don't even know how much you've borrowed. I recognize the probably the dun dun. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. Moving on. Got Industry. Haven't heard an Industry track in a while. Let's have a listen. Okay, those kicks are really large. Okay, yeah, that's dope. There's part like this intro I don't find any real value in. Like I like the like that thing's cool, but it's not enough to build an intro out of. I'm sure you're aware of this. Yeah, like the drop is super good. It's so tasty and dry, and there's just so much of this little empty spots in between it. Ah, I love it. I do, like I saw Rayhem say it was feeling kind of sterile. I think maybe what it is it's very basic in terms of how many elements are in it, which I don't think it needs to be crowded with elements, but maybe just like little turnarounds every 4 bars or whatever, a little bit more. You're already kind of doing it, but yeah, it's just the little ear candy stuff that needs to be sprinkled to really take it to the next level. And when you brought in like the what the fuck vocal thing, like why are we not hearing that back here too? Like I'd love to hear that on this super dry drop. What the And you could even like replace one of these kicks with the word fuck, you know? Yeah, you got some good ingredients here. You just need to keep going. And also, again, I this is like a common thing with your tracks. Like you love doing these dirty drops, and it sounds like you don't love doing all of the rest of the track. You know, like this is fine at the start of, it's fine as a start of an intro, which is kind of hard to say, but it's just not, you can kind of tell that you're just like, here's an intro, here's the drop, you know? So maybe try to figure out a way of like, and maybe I'm way off base. I don't know. Maybe you love making intros too, but to me, it seems like you're like, I can't wait to work on the drop. I guess I need to make an intro. So maybe try to maybe you just shorten your intros and you get to the point a little quicker, and that way you're not like getting bored. Because unless you're planning on filling this out with a bunch of stuff, like this intro is probably twice as long as it needs to be, considering what you've given us for elements. Like that whole section could be summed up by and like that's basically, I know there's some strings and stuff. Now like this 303 thing is sick for sure. The snare is a little bit typical for my taste, I think. Oh, but everything about that drop is so tasty. It's awesome. The snare is like it's like a pound cake or something. There's like a bit of pastry or I don't know what kind of cake has pastry on it. Maybe it's more like an apple pie. It's got like a bit of crunch to it, but it's not like a super crunch. It's like a pastry crunch. Oh God. I feel like I could like snip this out and sell it on Splice for $4. Anyway, the drops are sick. Just keep going, man, and please send it again once you've put a bit more work into it, because I'm pretty excited about this one. It's good. It's so dirty and so good. Okay, cool. Whew. Let's move on. I never know how to say this. Ice Skyab. Sagittarius. I know how to say that. This one is way more upbeat than the last track. Okay, there's some serious crunch happening here. There's something getting crunched somewhere. Holy shit, Batman. What is that? There's just too much like distort. It sounds like this has been mastered with a distortion pedal. I love chiptune stuff. I love what you're doing here, but there's just take the distortion pedal out of the master chain, because that's just too like it's too aggressive and abrasive. Again, it's like I hear this quite a bit where people are just like loud at all costs, doesn't matter, make it loud. And it's turning what is a cool track into something that I can't listen to because my speakers are up too loud. I guess I could do this. Also, I guess I got two main pieces of advice for this track. The crunch, reduce it. and watch your reverb. I feel like there's a lot of reverb happening. And you've got like crazy chord changes, and when you have long reverb tails, all those crazy chords get mushed together because you've hit this complex chord, and then that reverb is trailing off, and then you hit the next chord, so now we're hearing the last chord on top of the new chord, and maybe a third chord on top of that, depending on how quickly you change, right? So if you're going to do these quick chord changes, you got to be careful with how long your reverb lasts for. There are some strong points to this track. I like the chiptune melody that's happening. It's it sounds like maybe a game that revolves around a dog that can speak to humans or something of that matter. But that one chord, I don't know, the chords feel a little bit random at times. The overall chord progression is not bad, but there are just some chord choices where I'm just like, oh, okay. Almost like you're leading me through a mall by my hand and like taking crazy turns, and I'm like, oh, I thought we were going to the shoe store, but we're going to the bagel store. Anyway, yeah, take that with a grain of salt, because the chord choices are more of a subjective thing. But for me, I didn't really know what chord to expect next. And if that's what you're going for, then great job. If you want the listener to have some idea of what the track is like carrying them through, then the chords need to, maybe the chord changes are just too often and complex. Let's listen to one section here for a sec so I can hear it. Yeah, it's like that transition chord. Oh, especially that one. That sounds evil. There's a little bit of evil hidden in there. Yeah, those are my main thoughts. Easy on the crunch and easy on the reverb, and maybe a little less spastic with the chord choices. Okay, cool. We got Bleed, drum and bass whip idea. What is going on with the melody? It's like, I feel like I'm in a fever dream. And yes, Corey, I know more guitar. I didn't make these tracks, so you're gonna have to talk to them about it. Oh, this reminds me of Yoshi's Island when you touch fuzzy, get dizzy. Look that up and you'll know what I mean. Okay, I'm torn on this. Like, there's just some of those wonky lead things. Like Eswin says, the lead is trying its best. Yeah, some of the lead parts are like cringy, but then the rest of the track is like dope. And I just really want to quickly, so you can hear what I'm talking about. Oh my god. What happens if I show okay. Okay, hold on. This is not the high version. We need the high version. Touch fuzzy, get dizzy, high? I don't know, let's try this one. Basically when you touch the fuzzy thing, you like get high and then the music goes all wonky. Here we go. Okay, sorry. So that's immediately what came to mind. But like this part's sick. I'm so torn. It's that specifically, this little change. Yeah, it's that one semitone thing. I think that's what I'm cringing the most at. It's so weird because I'm like vibing and grooving with the rest of the track, but then that one thing happens. I don't really mind it though. I'm so torn on this track. It's like so close to being like ultra dope, but there's just a couple of those notes. It was really at the start that I felt it the most. Yeah, like that one note. It's seriously like just a couple notes that maybe were if they were shifted around a little bit, maybe it would still have that wonkiness to it, but just without the cringe factor. Because like the rest of it, man, is really cool. I really like this track, and I really dislike a couple of the notes in it. I guess that's the best way to put it. And I'm not suggesting that you like de-wonkify it at all. I just like, there's just a couple of those, random slight pitch bends. Maybe just go through and like trim those a little bit. I don't know. That's my thought. I think it's super cool and unique, and I love how unique all of these tracks are. It's always cool. Like, I don't listen to a whole lot of music, so it's nice when I get to listen to all of these totally unique tracks that people send in. So thanks. Okay, moving on. We got asterisk, only one asterisk. I don't even know how to draw a single asterisk. I only know how to draw asterisks. This is bad.
I'll be the reason that you end up leaving. 'Cause I don't know if I can give you what you're giving me. I walk away so easily every time. Maybe
right, this is super pretty. There's a few S's that are pokey. Just a little de-essing might help. My thoughts on this are I would use these vocals as kind of the pre-chorus or like the build into the drop. Instead of going right into the thick jung 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 like the powerful production, I would have a build up to that production with the vocals where they're at, and then pick one part of the vocal to slap onto it. And I don't know, this is like a real song. I feel like maybe this is like are these like sampled vocals? I don't know. I don't recognize them, but they sound great. Yeah, like that, because here's the thing. The vocals are great and what they're doing is really good and strong, but now we also have like this super production thing happening at the same time. So if those vocals were just in like the build up to that drop, and then we could focus on the vocals, and then we get the drop and we can focus on the drop, because the drop sounds really good too. Like that's probably where I would drop. I would have those vocals with like a dialed down version of this as a build up, and then drop into your drop there instead of back here. Yeah, melodically, it's super satisfying and pleasing. Yeah, if it's just placeholder vocals, like if we're just talking strictly about the track, I think it sounds great. No, the only real thing is maybe that like really high-pitched snare sample. It kind of sounds a little cheesy in the context of the track. Like the track is very authentic, but that very I don't know, pitched up almost like drum and bass snare kind of sticks out at me. Also, like structure wise, it's just kind of not long enough, but maybe that'll solve itself when you get the vocals that you're going to use on it. Other than that, yeah, sounds great. No real concerns about the mix or master. Yeah, sounds good. I like it. Cool. Moving on. Amnesia. The American people are ready. I am ready. This sounds like some sort of propaganda shit. Let's go. I fear for my life.
are ready. I am ready.
Okay, this sounds like you are angry. First of all, I feel like you are maybe angry at more than one person.
The American people are ready. I am ready.
Now we can see if we zoom in to the Joe Biden. If we zoom into the side chaining, you can see how deep and long, that's what she said, the side chaining is, but how short the sample that's causing the side chain. And this is giving it's a weird pumpy sound. So we have this snare that only lasts that long, and we have a side chain that lasts about this long, right? So that, I don't know if you're using Kickstart or you can it's very easy to see like the shape of the side chain and how short the samples that are causing the side chain are. Also, like a lot of the anger of the song comes from that that bass sound, and you're pretty much sucking the life out of it by side chaining it so heavily. Yeah, I kind of feel like the main drums in this, the kick and the snare are like up here and the rest of the track is like here, plus it's getting side chained. So like turn your main drums down, and I'm not even a real big fan of that snare. It doesn't seem to match like the looseness of the rest of the track. Like I feel like the rest of the track is like sloshy hi-hats, like rock, and then the snare is just like this tiny little, you know? So I would... That's the biggest thing I would adjust on this immediately. Yeah, this needs thick-ass 2011 dubstep drums. I agree. And there's cool stuff that happens, but it takes like a minute and a half for it to happen, right? I feel like some of these cool elements that you're adding should come sooner because, I mean, first of all, we had almost a minute of you playing two notes, I think.
American people are ready.
We had 45 seconds of you playing two notes with minimal changes, so keep that in mind. Okay, then we have...
American people are ready. I am ready.
We had almost another minute, probably another 45 seconds, of you playing two notes with a kick and a snare. And there might be some slight changes underneath and stuff, but no big changes. So like we're listening to two notes that are one semitone apart. And I'm not trying to shit on the track. Like it's got this cool evil sound. It's just progressing a little too slowly to keep my interest. I like that arpeggio thing that comes in. That's cool.
This is his time. This is our time. This is America's time.
Yeah, again, the side chaining. The side chain. Oops. I would listen to some of like your biggest inspirations in this style. You know, it's like that mid-tempo kind of stuff, and just pay especially close attention to the sound of the kick, how it interacts with the snare, and how the whole thing is side chained together. Because you can see the side chaining in this, and there's all this kind of wasted space that this could be occupying. You know what I mean? Like this. I love how I always say, you know what I mean, and it's not like you can answer. Like that could be filled like to make it look like that. I think that it'll sound like shit. Yeah, but you get the idea. Like that versus that. That's going to help the track carry a lot more energy and punch and power. And then it's just a matter of like, I feel like, okay, so you got about 4 minutes of this song, but if you look at the elements you have, I feel like you have about 2 minutes worth of song there, right? So if you start trimming things, shortening sections that aren't providing any value, if you're listening to it and you feel like you want to skip ahead, then there's probably something that needs to change. And I felt like I needed to skip ahead quite a few times because it just wasn't moving fast enough for me. It's cool. It's evil sounding. It's got a cool vibe. I just think you should really investigate the drum sound and the side chaining specifically. That should be your goal for the next track you work on, or even for this one, is try to get that side chaining dialed in just right so stuff moves out of the way for the kick and snare, but then comes right back in, and we have this kind of full sausage as opposed to a bumpy sausage. And don't make it full sausage, just full sausage, because full, I feel like we might have a full sausage here. Well, this is a bit of a bumpy sausage. We'll get there. All right, cool. Let's move on. We got Wolford, Always. Okay, sidechain. Again, another, like the last track had too much sidechain. This has not enough, if any, sidechain. Melodically, it's cool. I kind of have the same thoughts where like this section is twice as long as it should be, because there's not really much that's been added. But yeah, sidechain. Also be careful when you use, like the impact is okay there, but you used it back here. Where was it? Hold on. Maybe it was here. Okay, so right there, you use this impact sound that has a bunch of low end to it. So it's got like a bunch of rumbling happening, but you also have a sub bass going. So what we hear is just kind of like this mess of sub bassness. So that's kind of tricky, and sometimes you might have to just decide to not use that impact sound while the bass is going, or maybe you high pass it so you still get the psh, but you don't get the blah, 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 at the bottom. It's not really bad in this situation, in this example, but it still is a bit of a problem. But still, biggest thing is sidechaining. That riser sound is quite harsh on the ears. But yeah. It's also, it just kind of, it doesn't hold my attention for that long because the melody is quite basic. The bass sound is just kind of chugging this chord progression. Neither of those things are necessarily a problem if there was something to hold my attention, but I just feel like I'm listening to this piano and the bass and like this slow moving melody. So there's a few ways to address that. I still think like your biggest thing should just be try to figure out how to sidechain properly, because that's going to make the biggest difference to the way this track sounds. But musically, it sounds like it's missing the vocals, or it's missing like a main melody or something. Like you have a good place to start with, but that's what it feels like. It just feels like a start to me. So sidechain, make each section deliver value, build tension, deliver on the tension. There's not a lot of musicality to this besides a simple chord progression and some piano arpeggio. So try to figure out a way to spice that up. Okay, cool. Thanks for sending. Moving on. We got Star Glitter Dreams. Okay. I love where this is going. I want to listen to it. This just bugs me.
Trying to find who I am in my mind, lost in the thoughts that I can't leave behind, and all the dark feelings, I hide them inside. Yeah, I feel so alone without you by my side. Trying to find who I am in my mind, lost in the thoughts that I can't leave behind, and all the dark feelings, I hide them inside. Yeah, I feel so alone without you by my side.
Okay, so I do agree. I like the 3-kick thing, but it's just overused. Like, you know what I mean? Like doing it every time, it gets a little on the nose. And then when the vocals come in, they're a bit overcooked. They're a bit crispy.
Trying to find who I am in my mind.
And in between the words, like the noise level on the recording isn't great. It sounds like it was recorded on not a super good microphone and in a room with air conditioning running or something.
Lost in the thoughts that I can't leave behind, and all the dark feelings
I like the melody. I like the words. Like it's great. It's really just the vocals are a bit noisy, and you might be able to fudge that a little bit by getting in there and kind of at the end of a word, you might automate the volume down as quick as you can without it sounding natural, and then bring it up and, you know, like cut out all the chunks and mouth noises and stuff if you can.
the dark feelings, a heartache, scared of what it could be.
I'd also let the vocals not full on carry over, but like maybe have little bits of the vocal in the drop as well, and bring the vocals in before the drop, because like I didn't think there was any vocals in this track, and then all of a sudden they came in.
Heartache.
But it's cool. It's emotional. It sounds pretty. The vocals themselves are good. The recording is not great. So maybe get a better mic, or see what you can do with your current mic, but maybe build a little vocal booth or turn off your air conditioner or whatever the sound is. I can hear, and it's probably because they're so compressed that any little bit of sound in between the vocal lines is going to get crammed right up with the compressor. But yeah, I like the 3 kicks. It's a cool, like gives it character, but when you use it that much, it just becomes like, okay, we've had enough of the 3 kicks. So use it a bit more sparingly and let us miss it. Let us want it as opposed to like, okay, we've had enough, right? Besides that, sounds great, dude. Thanks for sending. All right. Simulcats, Sober State.
Washed up, burnt out, brain dead, fucked up, anxious, freak out, can't do small talk. Out at night with a bone dry mouth and a price to pay for sobriety. Small town, camped out, grown up, still dumb, linked up, same crowd, lit up, coughed out. Out my mind with a bone dry mouth and a price to pay for sobriety.
Production wise, wicked. The only thing I would say about the vocals, and this is just coming from me as a songwriter, is that the word sobriety is a bit on the nose. It's a bit too obvious. And the word sobriety itself might not be a problem, but you're talking about like the dry mouth, like there's a lot of literal things being said. And I wonder if there is a word that could be substituted for sobriety that conveys the same idea, but maybe has a bit deeper connotation or stirs up a little more deeper feelings that goes deeper than the word sobriety. Because when you think sobriety, you think, okay, like somebody who's struggling with addiction. Well, maybe there's another word, and it doesn't even rhyme that well.
My mouth and a price to pay. My mind with a bone dry mouth and a price to pay for sobriety.
Like it would rhyme if it was sobriety, but you're not saying it like that. You're saying sobriety. So yeah, like maybe from a songwriter's point of view, I would like there to be a bit more complexity to it. You know, maybe there's more to it than just struggling with addiction. Maybe there's something else you're struggling with because of the addiction, and that can be a metaphor for the addiction, etc., etc., etc. I just find there's a little bit too literal use of the words in the, and I don't even know if this is you writing or singing, but that would be my concern. The production's sick. Again, I don't like when there's like vocal buildups and then a drop, but the vocal isn't in the drop at all. And let me see if I'm just talking on my ass. Yeah, no, there's no, so it makes the track feel disconnected. It makes the track feel like, hey, I put vocals in this section because I needed to, here's the drop. So if you can, and it's not like don't have the vocals going the whole time, just like maybe at the end of each measure or something, it drops out and there's a word or a phrase or something that comes back in and does the rest of the drop. That just ties the song together and gives it a more cohesive feel, in my opinion. Okay, so where was the slap bass the first time? That slap bass funky as shit, boy. The vocals are kind of buried. There's a lot of. It sounds like you are an excellent producer, but the mixing of the vocals with the track it's challenging when your production is this upfront, complex, busy, and then you try to put vocals in the mix. Like you got to do some creative things to make to make things fit together, right? But it's super cool. There's like slight adjustments to be made.
Look past it. Part the cheese, Sandy speaks, drum machine, jungle beats, fly with me, YYZ, baby talk, yes indeed, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, trace those melodies.
It's like catchy, like the melody lines are catchy and stuff, but there's just so much happening all of the time. So that would be my suggestion is sometimes mixing is just as much arrangement and production as it is like EQing the vocals or turning something up or down, right? Trying to get those vocals to cut through when you have all these fucking things that sound dope, but I'm like trying to listen to what the vocals are saying, but I can't because there's all this crazy production at the same time. I think I just hit the mic, I'm sorry. Yeah, try to carve out more spots for the vocals and maybe try to replace the word sobriety. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I think it's dope. It was really fun, especially when that slap bass came in. I think you should use that more often. I don't know. I'm just a fan of that cheesy, like, Super Nintendo slap bass thing. Like, really kind of like lo-fi, obviously sampled slap bass. Very cool. Moving on to Rayhem. That one song about facial mutilation. What? Yeah, I mean, like, I was fully expecting this to be a total meme, but it was good. I mean, the intro, whatever. But, like, this is good, man. I actually really like this. I don't know why you think it's terrible. I prefer this to the original, probably because I've heard the original so many times, but like this is really cool. I like it. I don't know why you think it's shitty. It's not. What tempo is it? Yeah, maybe I'll use it in my DJ set like in the next 5 or 6 years whenever I do my next gig. What would it be? I'm sure Rayhem could tell me. 135 ish, 134. I don't know. It's really cool. I don't know. I really like it. I think you should finish it up so I can play it live. All right, cool. Pandomium. And there's no name, or maybe that is the name. Okay. Cool, but also mono, mostly. If we listen and there was something going up with the stereo field. So I looked at the imager, and then I went to the mid-side EQ, and I soloed the side tracks. So what we're gonna hear is just what's on the sides. And like, here's the thing, it's super aggressive and almost like too abrasive, but I wonder how much of that is because everything is like just piled in the center. There's a lot of stuff crammed all on top of each other in the center of the stereo field. Yeah, I don't know if this was maybe a mistake when it was rendered, or if you have this going, all your bases going through a bus and the bus got monoed or something, but like it's yeah. Oh wait, believe did you okay, believe you made this. So you need to figure out why they sound like shit in stereo, and they don't have to all be super wide, but you got to understand that when you solo the side channels, all I'm hearing is like basically hi-hats, right? So that means you have a lot of empty space in your stereo channel that you could use to place things instead of having everything in the center. So if you're saying that the bass wubs sound like shit when they're stereo, then that is its own problem. It's not that doesn't mean just put the mono. That means like, why do they sound stereo, or why do they sound shit when they're stereo? Like, there's a problem to solve there, but it's not just by monoing everything. Like right here, this part sounds drastically better because now we got thick kick and snare and sub bass in the center. The hats are wide. We got some stereo width to the distorted bass sound. Like, this part is rocking, but this part... It's just, it's kind of hard to get into those bass sounds, you know, maybe on a big like festival system or like a club or something where maybe the stereo doesn't matter quite as much. But for listening in 99% of the time where you're listening on headphones or on speakers or whatever, everything feels very nasally and congested, and it's because everything's piled in the center. So I would take a chunk of time and dedicate it to just figuring out how to expand into the stereo image a little bit more than just the hats. Like I said, when we get to this part, now all of a sudden the track feels full because we have nice low frequency to high frequency. Okay, so we got the full kind of this dimension, and then we also have a full stereo dimension. So we have like the full picture. So yeah, that's my biggest thing. I think that you should investigate. Maybe there's a specific thing that you're doing wrong, or there's a specific trick that you're using that's making things not work stereo wise. But in order to make the track feel full, you got to make use of that whole sound stage, which includes left to right. All right, thanks for sending. Very heavy, very aggressive, very mono. All right, next we got Nemkai Glow 2. Yeah, this is cool. We have heard it before. I recognized it, so that's a good thing. It's memorable. I recognized it from back in July, and I just opened up my files to see, and it was there. Very heavy in the sub range. I feel like the track is submerged in the sub bass. I really like the melody, and I like the harmony, and I like what's happening. I really like this part with the drum and bass stuff. It's very uplifting and optimistic, and sounds great. It's just overall the sub range is very loud compared to the rest of the song. Okay, so I just pulled, how much did I pull? 4 dB out of the very sub range. See how if I pulled 4 dB out of the sub range, I can automatically boost the rest of the track up to like, there it is. You know what I mean? If we go, I'll bypass and unbypass. So that tells me that, I mean, I pulled 6 dB, which is quite a bit out of 100 hertz and below. I wouldn't suggest you do that in the master. I think it's just a matter of like turning your kick down a little bit and your sub bass down quite a bit, and then bringing the master threshold down. So yeah, the track is super fun, super cool. Like in terms of the song, it's just really too loud in the sub range. Vels, I don't know what you mean by can I use some of your songs as references. If you mean you want to listen to my songs and reference them when you're making your own, then I feel like nobody can stop you, and I have no problem with that. Oh, also, I really respected, where was it? Where was it? There was that, oh, right here. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it was dope. I really like this drum and bass section, both of them, but I do find that it feels like it's lacking that main melody or like vocal or whatever, like the main character of that part. Because you have arpeggio, you have chords, you have drums, but you don't really have a melody when you think about it. The arpeggio isn't really a melody. It's kind of just a funky chord. It's a wiggly chord, right? There's also some moments in the song where I feel like these elements are way too low, like this. Like that should be like, I just doubled it up, right, to make it twice as loud. That's just some moments like that where like, oh, that should be up a little bit, you know, just little things like that. But yeah, I love this track. It's super fun. I do think it's quite an improvement from the July version, but I do think that you just need to lower your sub range quite significantly and then get the rest of the song back up in volume by using a limiter in your master. All right, cool. We're getting down there. Wow, this is a short one. Mirko. Don't know if that's the name. Don't know if it's the artist. Let's find out. And let me first make sure I got this all back to normal. Okay, here we go. Okay, so right off the bat, it's fun, it's high energy, and it sounds kind of Japanese, and it's cool, but there are moments like this where there's different notes being played, and they don't work together. Yeah, like all the sound design chops and stuff, they don't really fit. I like the melody, I like the harmony. There's no sub bass. There should be, you know, like. The strong points of this track are the cool melody and happiness, and it's kind of bittersweet happiness a little bit, the feel of the chords and melody. But like those kind of like virtual riot sounds are just I don't know. To me, they don't really fit. They don't fit for more than one reason. One, they're not playing the right notes all of the time. There are some moments where they're just playing wrong notes compared to the rest of the track. And then the other thing is they just don't really seem to match with the song. But I do like the chiptune stuff. And it's really short. So yeah, I guess it's probably just a start. I would maybe ditch the wubs or make sure that they're playing the right notes. You can really feel that like out of tuneness, right? So yeah, I would do that. Cool. All right, we got the king, who is the king of sending very loud stuff. So I'm very concerned for my ears. Here we go. Utterly Garbage. Very, very strong and confident title. Here's the thing. There's some cool stuff in there, but it just sounds like you're trying to hurt my ears. Like, I like the bass line, but like the... I also noticed that it's very mono. We are listening to the side channels right now. This is literally mono. I mean, like, dude, there's some cool shit in there, but like, why? Why does it have to be so abrasive on my ears? Oh, yeah, that's not gonna do anything. Like, I really like the dun 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 dun. I like the bass line, but then it's the that. I don't know. Maybe it's personal taste. Maybe you love that, and if you do, then I salute you. But my ears are not enjoying the that stuff. Yeah, it's a cool beat, but it hurts to listen to. So it's kind of give and take. Those are my thoughts. I would just ditch that sound or turn it way down or EQ it or something. And also check out the stereo field and same advice that I gave that track before where I soloed the side channels and there wasn't anything. Okay. Cool. We're going to move on. Thank you. You did not disappoint with the loudness. You always send very loud tracks. So thank you for that. All right, last track of the day, we got Westbrook Funk. Let me make sure I got all this stuff turned off. Yes. Oh, let's just bypass it. All right, let's have a listen.
To feel here, taking in the sand.
Yeah, it was a bit harsh in the 3 to 5K range, I think, because of maybe the cymbals or something. But besides that, it was dope. I loved it. You're a great producer, and I love your music. And I'm not sure if it's the cymbals or like maybe the maybe like some of the samples. I'm not sure what it is, but it's like that kind of up here. It's actually, sorry, it's like 6 to 10 kilohertz. Whatever, yeah, there's some elements that are contributing a lot of energy to that like frequency range. But yeah, this is a dope track. It's a journey. Like I had no problem listening to the whole thing through. And I was just trying to make, it didn't even really need much of a master. It just needs to be louder. I mean, the vocals definitely have that kind of frequency in them too, quite loudly. The whole track, just there's probably 2 or 3 elements that are really contributing a lot to that one frequency range, and it's adding up in certain parts where like 2 of those elements are happening at the same time. All of a sudden we get like, hey, here's 8K, I hope you like it. But yeah, it's a dope track, man. I think you should revisit it. There's like, you know, there's some mixing stuff that would allow it to be a little bit more powerful. Like that, like the aggressive bass, it feels like it has a lot of high end, but not a lot of mid range. So like we have like a sub bass, and we have like this distorted, and then there's not a lot of like low mids that connect the two. I feel like that would help, whether it's maybe just an EQ thing or maybe like another bass to connect the two of them. You really hear it right here when there's no sub. And maybe the problem isn't, well, I think the problem is that the bass doesn't have much mids, but also, why is there no sub note there? Yeah, I think there's a couple things. The bass could extend down and touch this, like tickle the sub a little bit more. But also there's just points in the song where that bass exists without the sub, and we're like, oh, so the bass doesn't have a sub. And it's like a plot twist. I think that's what I think it's more of that. Like I do think it could tickle the sub a bit more, but I think it's more of the fact that every once in a while we'll get a spot with no sub bass in it for whatever reason, and it's just like, oh, where'd the note go? I made this over 6 years ago. Okay, well then fucking fix it, I guess. I don't know. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks everybody for sending in and hanging out with me on this Friday. Thank you, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring me for $0.00. And I hope you guys all have a great weekend. I love you, and I will see you next week.